Hey everybody, welcome to a new video. So it's been 6 to 7 months since the first year started, and I thought it'd be a good video to go over everything we've actually gotten to see if we've gotten that much in general. You can see all the videos I've had. I've looked through all the patch notes, all the events and everything, and let's get straight into what we have gotten so far this year. So first I wanted to talk about the different events we've had and the mini games or different mini events we've had inside those events. So first we had the Christmas New Year's event that lasted until I think early to mid-January. We of course got the Snow Trap mini game. This was definitely one of the worst mini games we had because not only could you no longer get free stuff from daily missions, but the actual special missions that gave you event currency were really crap, and overall you couldn't really get that far free to play. But that was the very first event we had of the year. Although it started in December, it did last until early to mid-January, so I thought that was worth mentioning. Next we had the Lunar New Year. It was an okay event. I remember there were some good modes like the Wasp Spooky mode. That was really fun. The Lunar New Year I think was an overall pretty decent event. A lot of people like this old school mode. I hope we can see more of this in the future. But this event did last 4 freaking weeks, a long time for events in general. It lasted all the way till the halfway through February. It was crazy. The first big mini event we had of the year was the Team Contracts event. I honestly thought this would be the addition of normal contracts in the actual game, but no, it wasn't. That was just its own mini game, and we've actually been getting these every single month for the last I think 6 or 7 months now, which is a big bonus. I think when you have 4-week events, you need to have these mini events inside of the monthly events just to make it not nearly as boring. But this was the very first one we got. Of course, we had the addition of brand new event passes, so every single event now has this 710 coin pass. I think that's not bad as long as the mini games are free. I think it was stupid adding the addition of a event pass for mini games when for the last 2 to 3 years they've been free. Next event we had was Valentine's Day. That was this event was only 3 weeks. Again, I like the 3-week events the most. I think anything longer than 3 weeks is pretty darn long and a bit absurd because 4 weeks is a full month of one thing. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, compared to old Tanki, you at least have an event every single month, but you know, it's okay. I remember the event modes weren't that great for this, especially with overdrives and all that stuff. Next round of Spring Fever. This event started in March and it lasted for about 3 weeks this time. It had the classic event mode, that was pretty nice. Arms race, boring, and then sports mode, not that fun either. In March, we also got the Tanki Online Sakura Blossom mini event. This one was pretty fun. I enjoyed this one probably the most. At the end of the day, you couldn't get that much for free, but with the 710 coin pass to get in, it wasn't that awful. And then you could also get Hunter GT and Freeze GT if your team won. I ended up getting this from a skin container or an ultra container, I forget what, but Hunter GT was really nice and a lot of people were able to get it. Next for April, we had the April Fool's event. I think this event was a bit of a letdown. You had an event mode with overdrives and all that stuff on, not that much fun. You had Carnage, which wasn't fun either, but the event was only 2 to 3 weeks, so it wasn't that bad overall. Next event in April we had was the Cosmonautics Day. This event lasted for 3 weeks with decent, not great event modes. They were all kind of the ones where it's low gravity, you can go as far up as you want, and it's just kind of fighting in the air. Not the greatest of events. However, during this event, we had the Tanks in Space minigame. This was one of the first minigames to add that event pass that you now have to have, which I think is stupid for any minigame. Minigames have always been free because they're so expensive to get far. It's kind of stupid that you have to spend 710 coins to begin with when you already have to spend so much to get far into the event. But yeah, we had this minigame, not that great. We had the addition of the Copper RT and Tesla RT. I think I've only seen one person have it, and that's Revised because he grinded it out. Now we're on to May holidays. This event was about 2 months ago, right before the Tanki birthday. It lasted 4 total weeks. You had the Bonk mode, the Deathmatch mode, the classic gold mode without overdrives. This was a pretty fun event, I think. And then you had the Dragon's Gold, which Juggernaut, not that fun for me personally. In May, we also had the Build and Fight event mode, or event, whatever you want to call it, I always forget. I think out of all the minigames, this is my favorite. I call it minigame, event, minigame, whatever. I think this is my favorite because you got to choose between so many rewards. I ended up going with the Railgun Magic Shot Effect and a skin container, but this one was by far the cheapest in terms of bundles you could get. I only had to spend 2,310 coins to get everything that I wanted, and I barely spent any 10 coins on my actual daily changes, so this was a fun event, definitely. Next we had Tanki Online's 15th birthday, 4 total weeks. The first mode was pretty fun, but then every single mode after that, in my opinion, was not that much fun, especially this Carnage mode, 35v35, whatever the heck. Not to mention, we only got 1 new XT HD skin, whereas last year we got 2, so I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get something to combo that new Thunder XT HD. I ended up getting it though. Really good skin in my opinion. I think they did really good at that. And then during June, during Tanki birthday, we got the brand new Tanki Fund. Huge letdown. It wasn't an awful result, but in terms of what we could have had in last few years we've had, it wasn't that great. So that's all the events so far this year. Honestly, not bad. The events have definitely been the highlight of the year because we haven't really gotten that much in terms of new content. It's mainly just been getting new events every single year. But now that we're on to new stuff, let's talk about all the new augments that we've gotten this year. Huge shout out to ShineOfSun for helping me make this list. There was a lot of new stuff that came out, and he's been helping me a lot on this part. So shout out to him. First link in the description will be his channel. Now there's a lot of augments, so I'm just gonna have gameplay in the background or I'm reading them off because I mean, okay, I guess it's kind of a lot. We'll just have to go through them. So first we had the Lunar New Year event. So we got the Missile Launcher Meteor Augment for Striker. The damage increased by 25%. Impact Force increased by 50%. Minimum rocket speed is 90. The pause between rockets and salvo is 50 milliseconds. And the only disadvantage is your splash damage is reduced to 1 meter. The next new augment we got was for Valentine's Day. So we had the Magnetic Band for Vulcan. The advantage of this one, critically hitting the enemy activates the EMP effect. It's just one of those stupid status effect augments that they like to call new, but at the end of the day, they're not. We already have hundreds of status effect augments. I don't think just adding a new status effect augment for a different turret qualifies it as new, not in my book. Next, we have Spring Fever. We got the Stunning Core augment for Magnum. Again, not a really new one, but it's technically new to the game, but not new in terms of the actual design. Next, we had Plasmatron for Twins in the Fool's Day event. The advantage of this one, you had the standard damage is 300% increased, and your projectile speed is 100% faster, and then the disadvantage is you have a lot longer reload time. It's the augment where you shoot those little slow balls where it feels more like you're using Ricochet on Twins than you're using normal Twins. Next, we had Stunning Band for Vulcan. Again, another status effect augment. I don't really like to call it new. In Cosmonautics Day, we didn't have any new augments, but we did have the brand new Railgun Magic Shot effect. If you want to check that out, there's the video right above. Next, for May Holidays, we had the Sustainable Nanobots augment for Aceta. This was actually a pretty nice augment. So basically, you have 100% longer range on Aceta. Your energy consumption with healing is minus 50%, so you can heal longer. And the disadvantages are your cone angle is 60% smaller, so you can't really have the side. It's a lot harder to aim basically. And then the energy consumption while attacking is 50% faster. So it's a better healing augment, longer range healing augment. Next, we had Electrifying Sight for Shaft in the UFO days. That's not really new. In the Tanki Fund, we had the Jamming Sight for Shaft. That's not really new. Freezing Core Magnum, Freezing Band for Vulcan, more status effects. In the Tanki Fund, we also have the brand new High Speed Shells augment for Smokey. So the advantages are your damage at 3 meters 100%, damage at 6 meters 50%, damage at 9 meters 50%. So basically you're doing a lot more damage up close. We also had Critical Mix for Firebird and Tanki Fund as well. For the Tanki and the Snow Trap minigame, we had the Incendiary Salvo for Gauss, Solenoid Cooling for Gauss, and Freezing Salvo for Gauss. And then we had a bunch of different Blaster, Lifeguard, Miner augments added for holes, but those aren't really new, to be honest. They're just drones that were converted to augments. But yeah, that's all the brand new augments. A good amount, only about 3 to 4 unique augments. The rest have just been repeats of status effects or maybe repeats of already in the game augments, but for different turrets, like the vacuum shells or vacuum augments for their turrets. Unfortunately, only like 3 to 4 actually new unique augments, which kind of sucks. Huge shout out to Provence for helping with all the patch notes. His channel is going to be the second link in the description. I'd highly recommend subscribing to him. Now for the patch notes, I'm not going to read off the various different balance changes to turrets and augments because those are always changing. So at the end of the day, even if I talk about it right now, it could change in a week, so there's no use talking about that. The first thing is Tanki reduced the amount of stars you can get for a battle depending on how long you've been in the battle. So say you're in the battle for 5 minutes, you'll get less stars than if you're in a battle for the entire time, making it a little bit harder to actually grind out for stars. Next, Tanki changed the rewards for ultra containers, as in you get a lot better rewards for the lower tiers, and you're guaranteed more rewards the more containers you open. Unfortunately, they didn't really change much for the normal containers. Tanki also removed the tank coins from weekly missions and now added it to the daily missions. So you have to do your daily missions every single day to get the max amount of tank coins. Tanki also heavily nerfed the Juggernaut mode. The Juggernaut has a lot less health. The Juggernaut does a lot less damage. It takes longer to reload. Overall, the Juggernaut mode was nerfed heavily. Tanki also nerfed the Assault mode so that you can't grind it out as much to earn battle points for the different Phoenix augments, because now it gives you far less points for capping a flag. Tanki changed the Cake Gold for their birthday to give you 15 tank coins instead of the usual 15,000 crystals. There were a few new skins added, such as new steampunk skins, but overall, we only get one skin on average every month or two. Usually it has to be with a mini game or a special event like Tanki Birthday or May Days with all the steampunk skins they add. Overall, when you look at all the updates for the year, there really isn't that much new stuff if you take out all the different events we got, because honestly, at the end of the day, events, yeah, they're content, but they're not really game-changing content. They just add that extra factor of gameplay that you can kind of, I guess, grind for. It would be nice if we had brand new grenades or the contracts in the game by now. It's just a lot. Tanki likes to promise a lot of stuff but take months. Definitely let me know if you guys enjoyed this video. Would you like to see another one of these at the end of the year? Definitely let me know what you guys think about this video. Don't forget to use credit tag Taspens in the item shop. Let me know if I missed any new things that have come out, but honestly, I probably didn't. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in a future video. Peace out.